There was a time in my life when everything felt confusing. I had finished school, but I didn't know what to do next. My friends had plans. Some were going to college. Others had jobs. But I had no idea what I wanted. I felt lost. Every morning, I woke up with a heavy heart. I had no motivation. I didn't feel excited about anything. My days were quiet and boring. I spent hours on my phone, scrolling through other people's lives, wondering why mine felt so empty. My family tried to help. They said, "Just pick something." Or, "You'll figure it out." But nothing felt right. I didn't want to choose the wrong path. I wanted meaning. I wanted purpose. But I didn't know how to find it. One day, while walking through town, I stepped into a small bookstore. I didn't plan to buy anything. I just wanted to look around. The store was warm and quiet. The air smelled like old paper and coffee. It felt peaceful. As I walked between the shelves, a bright red book caught my eye. Its title read, "Start with Why." I picked it up and flipped through the pages. One quote jumped out. "People don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it." That sentence stayed in my mind. I bought the book. That decision, simple and small, would change everything. When I got home, I placed the book on my desk. It sat there for 2 days. I was nervous to open it. I had never read a full book before. Not outside of school. But on the 3rd day, I made a cup of tea, sat down, and opened the first page. The first chapter talked about finding your why. The reason behind your actions. It asked, "What inspires you to wake up in the morning?" I didn't know the answer, but I wanted to find out. The author wrote in simple, clear language. Each idea was easy to understand, but it made me think deeply. I underlined sentences that felt powerful. I kept a notebook beside me and wrote down my thoughts. For the first time in months, I felt something new. Curiosity. I wanted to keep reading. I wanted to understand myself better. I read for 2 hours without checking my phone. That was rare. By the end of the chapter, I had already changed. I hadn't found all the answers, but I had found a question worth asking. What is my why? It was just the beginning, but it gave me hope. This book was more than words. It was a mirror, and it was helping me see myself. Every night, I read a few more pages. I made reading my routine. I would turn off my phone, sit in a quiet corner, and dive into the book. With every page, I learned more. Not just about business or success, but about myself. The book spoke about great leaders. People who didn't just follow the crowd. They followed their purpose. They knew why they were doing what they did. And that gave them strength. That idea made me ask, could I live like that too? I started reflecting. What did I enjoy? When did I feel most alive? I remembered how much I loved writing as a child. I used to write short stories and imagine worlds. I had forgotten that part of me. Life got busy, and dreams got buried. But now, something had woken up inside me. I took out an old notebook and began to write again. Just a little. I wrote about my day. I wrote about my thoughts. It felt good. Like talking to a friend. That book didn't give me all the answers, but it helped me remember who I was. It helped me ask better questions. That's when I realized something powerful. Books don't just teach us. They remind us. Halfway through the book, I reached a chapter full of questions. They weren't easy ones. They asked things like, what makes you feel alive? What are you willing to struggle for? What do you want to be remembered for? I didn't have clear answers, but I didn't skip them. I closed the book, picked up my journal, and started writing. At first, I wrote slowly. I wasn't sure what to say. But then the words came. I remembered how happy I felt when I helped someone. I remembered the pride of finishing a story. I remembered the joy of learning something new. I began to see a pattern. I loved ideas. I loved sharing. I loved words. It hit me. Maybe I didn't need to have it all figured out. Maybe I just needed to follow what lit me up inside. Those questions didn't scare me anymore. They guided me. I wasn't just reading now. I was growing. And I began to believe something I never believed before. My life could have direction. As I finished the book, I didn't feel lost anymore. I felt like I had taken the first step on a new path. I wasn't sure where it would lead. But I was moving forward. And that made all the difference. I started telling my friends about the book. I said, "You have to read this." It made me think in a new way. Some were curious. Others smiled politely. But I didn't mind. I had found something valuable. And I wanted to share it. I also started writing blog posts. Just simple ones. I wrote about what I learned. How I was feeling. And the small steps I was taking. I didn't know if anyone would read them. But writing made me feel alive. Soon, a few people did read them. They left kind comments. "Thank you for this." One person wrote, "I needed these words today." That message stayed in my heart. I realized something. Maybe my why was to help others through words. Maybe I could use my journey to support someone else's. And all of it began with one book. After finishing the book, I didn't stop reading. I found other books that inspired me. Books about purpose, confidence, creativity, and kindness. I made a new rule. Read 20 minutes every day. This small habit changed everything. It gave me focus, peace, and strength. I started waking up earlier, excited to learn something new. I kept a journal by my side and filled it with quotes, questions, and reflections. My confidence grew slowly. I started setting small goals. First, write one blog a week. Then, try a short video. Then, speak at a local event. I used to be afraid of failing. But now, I saw failure as part of learning. The book had taught me that success isn't a straight line. It's a journey of trying, falling, and rising again. I wasn't perfect. I still had doubts. But I had something stronger than fear. I had direction. And that made every step feel meaningful. One day, after I posted a story online, someone sent me a message. She was a writer and speaker. She said she liked my style and asked if I wanted to join a small group of storytellers. I said yes. This group changed my life again. We met every week, shared our writing, and gave each other feedback. For the first time, I felt part of a community. I wasn't alone in my journey. My mentor encouraged me to dig deeper, to tell stories that mattered, to write from the heart. She gave me advice, not just about writing, but about life. She said, "The best writers are the best listeners. Listen to your life." That line stayed with me. I began to see my daily life as a story. Every moment, good or bad, had meaning. I just had to look closely. Books opened the door, but people helped me walk through it. A year had passed since I bought that book. I looked back and saw how much had changed. I was writing regularly. I had a small blog with readers from around the world. I was learning. I was growing. I had not reached some big success, but I had found something more valuable. Clarity. I knew what I loved. I knew what gave me energy. And I knew that every step forward, no matter how small, was worth it. I often thought, what if I had never walked into that bookstore? What if I never picked up that book? It reminded me that small moments can have big impacts. That's why I share my story today. Not to say, look at me, but to say, this can happen to you too. One book. One decision. One moment of courage. That's all it takes to start changing your life. If you feel lost, confused, or afraid, know that it's okay. Everyone feels that way sometimes. But don't stay stuck. Take a small step. Read a book. Write one thought. Ask one question. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to begin. I didn't know where my journey would lead. But now, I'm thankful I started. And I believe you can too. Find a book that speaks to you. Find your why. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real. And don't wait for the perfect moment. The best time to begin is now. Your story is waiting. You just have to turn the first page. Today, I live differently. I still face challenges. I still have doubts. But I walk with purpose. I live with hope. And I continue to grow. All because of a single book. Books are not just pages. They are paths. They lead us into ourselves and out into the world. The book didn't magically fix my life. But it opened a door. And walking through that door changed everything. I now believe that one story can change a life. And maybe, just maybe, this story can help change yours. So, start with why. Start with one question. One step. One book. It could be the beginning of your transformation. Just like it was for me. Vocabulary highlights. Confused. Not sure what to do. Purpose. The reason you do something. Inspire. To make someone want to do something. Curious. Wanting to know more. Reflect. To think deeply about something. Confidence. Belief in yourself. Community. A group of people who support each other. Mentor. A guide or teacher. Journey. The path you take in life. Transformation. A big change in your life.